The other thing that I have to ask you about in regards to England, and I feel bad because I really like to ask happy questions, but it seems every question I've had to ask you today has had to be something wrong happening to one of your teams, and then you're of course a big Liverpool supporter, and it looked like they were finally cruising to that Premier League championship that they've had 28 years that they've been waiting for now. It looks like that season hopefully will get finished, but what's your thoughts? If the season isn't finished, how can they not give Liverpool the championship? I don't understand that one. I mean, they're just so far in front of any other team. What are your thoughts, and what do you think might end up happening with Liverpool?
Yes, I've been caught in two minds on this issue. At first, it's about humanity first. In this situation we are, I think this is not the time to talk of over 30 years not winning a league title, but it's about saving lives, or it's about people's life being on the horizon. So I look at it that way and I say, okay, well, if going back to play the league will cost more lives, that is my assumption, of that is my view. If going back to continue with the league will cost more deaths or more lives, why not? Let's just end it there, because I think once we have life, there is hope. And then if there should be a match in which we should they be playing, and then fans dying or even people dying per se, even Liverpool could win the league and there won't be no one to even celebrate the trophy with. That is because we'll be losing most people or many more deaths. So at this stage, what I'm thinking is, should we, or if there are more lives to lose, let end it there. But on the other hand, to wait for 30 years to be crowned as champions, and then things are this way. I've been saying it, 2020, it's been a year that I don't know what the world has done, but it's been a very tough year. And then not only the 30 years, let's not forget the whole of the season. Liverpool, as until when the league had to stop, only lost one game in the Premiership, even though that defeat was very embarrassing. But at least to go all that while without losing, playing all those clubs and even meeting others twice, that means beating them home and away till that point. And let's not forget also that Liverpool were just 2 wins away from being crowned champions of the league.
Yes, that's the thing that strikes me, and of course, like you said, there's not even consideration that starting the league should happen if it's going to cost more lives. I think the question at hand is if the league does end, should Liverpool be champion? And it's tough because at the end of the day, they didn't play every game. They didn't win those two more matches mathematically. But I mean, common sense just tells you that Liverpool was going to win the league. If they played even if they lost every game for the rest of the season, they'd probably still win the league.
Yes, so that is why it's a bit dicey here. It's distressing. You just can't. At times, I even try not to. Read more meanings into it, because if you look at it, even if they say the league is null and void, they are giving the title to Liverpool. Many would have. Someone can even say, "Okay, who told you could have won the other two matches to take the league? The last 9 matches you have to play. Who told you Liverpool were going to win?" Because Liverpool still had to play City and all those stuff. Chelsea was there to be played. So people could say, okay, they could lose to City, they could lose to Chelsea as well. So if you look at all these things, I think, but if we realize that there have been series of meetings with UEFA and other and the clubs and all those things, so probably there might be some chance for them to conclude the league. I'm having that belief that the league might be concluded. If we realize that there are so many reports coming out from Germany that May, as early as May, somewhere 9th or so, they are thinking of starting the Bundesliga. But you see, one other aspect of football, which in this trying time I'm very sad about, is I for one, I think football without fans, it seems a dead game, because we follow it because of the fans or the euphoria surrounding games. So, but for now, it's becoming more and more clearer or likely that league matches will be played behind closed doors. And then I can't imagine watching Liverpool playing at Anfield, and then you can't even hear a single voice. It's so that one itself isn't that attractive to me. But if that will help, and then end the 30 years of not winning the league, I think with 9 or 10 matches, because other clubs have 10 matches to play, others 9 matches. So if we will endure having no fans for 9 or 10 matches, and then Liverpool get the trophy, I think it won't be a bad idea. But as and when it is going to happen, I mean, starting it, like we are hearing Germany May, I think for the Premiership, it might take us to June or July to get them back. But we are just hoping that the league shouldn't be nulled and void for my sake, for my Liverpool sake, so that we can have it played even behind closed doors, and at least we get to be crowned the champions. It will be terrible if it ends this way, that we will miss out on the trophy.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that is a fantastic point, that even if they declared the league over now and gave Liverpool the championship, it would always have an asterisk if they don't play those 9 games, and that's ultimately why you have to figure out a way to play those 9 games, even if it is closed doors. And honestly, that's the best take I've heard from anybody, and it makes sense, because you've waited 30 years. You don't want to have them give you the title, and then for the next 10 years you have to hear every Manchester United say, yeah, but you didn't play those 9 games.
Yes, it's going to be another hell to endure. It's just, let's just wait, probably behind closed doors, end everything. And rather than saying, okay, but they didn't play the 9 matches, who told you they could have won the last or the 2 matches they were talking of? They had, like I said, City was there to be played, Chelsea was there. Even we've seen Watford, who are struggling, beating them 3-0. That means they could have gone to play the lower clubs. One of them might have even beaten them again. Who told you they could end the league with only 1 defeat? All this will come up at some point if the league is null and void and the cup is being given to Liverpool. But if we can play behind closed doors, the 9-10 matches, they are off. And that's just a complete season. No one will say the league wasn't complete. It was completed. So there won't be any other thing to say. Probably you see that, okay, maybe if they were to play them sequential, maybe injuries would have come in. Now that they aren't, so you rested or you had time to refresh yourselves and come back and all those things. But it would be nice for them to find a way out, playing it close doors to end the season. I think it will be better that way.
Well said. Well said. I think that you have the right idea, and I hope that they can make that happen. Well, that was the last thing that I had written down to talk to you about here today. Was there anything that you had on your list of things to talk about?
Yeah, I was just trying to break down the match from match day 1 to match day 15, so that we could see how things were. It was very exciting.
Yes, excellent. Let's take. So we're going to look at the first 15 match weeks of the Ghana Premier League, and some of the big matches and where the standings sit.
Yeah. as at the time we had the league being suspended, like I said, from match day 1 to match day 15, they have played about 130 matches, 133 matches in total. And with this 133 matches played, from that period of week 1 to week 15, we've seen a total goal scored of 277 goals scored in all the matches played in the 133 matches so far. And then you realize that goals has been, the goals were just flowing, because if you play 133 matches and there are 277 goals in it, I think it's impressive. We've missed football or top flight league for almost 2 years, because we were in the 18th month before we had to come back. So that is 1.5 years or so without top flight league. But to have it back and to see these numbers coming up is great. Within the 133 matches played, 93 matches were won. That is total wins in the matches. 93 matches were won. 60 of the matches won were at home. That tells you that in the Ghana Premier League, it's more like if your home is that formidable, if your home ground is a fortress for you, it's very likely for you to win the league. Because in the 2015-2016 season, that was the very good mantra that won Wow Stars the league. At the Sports Stadium, they played throughout the whole season without losing a single match there. So when you realize that 60 matches were won at home this season as well, so it says a lot about how teams they value their home grounds. With 33 away match wins, that means going away is more likely you don't win. 40 of draws or 40 matches being played and ended in draw so far in the league. You realize that we had 127 goals scored in the first half of matches. Yes, first half alone, 127 goals scored in total, with 150 goals scored in the second half of matches. Meaning, if you think you are winning in the first half, but there's a possibility that in the second half there are a lot of goals that will come and you might not win. Or if we are losing, you could score a lot of goals and you could end up winning. In total, from match day 1 to 15 before the league got suspended, in total, we had 41 penalties awarded in that period. 41 penalties have been awarded in that period. And then
So about one every third game?
Yeah, 41.
Okay,
penalties.
Right. So I was just saying that so about 1 out of every 3 games in the Ghana Premier League has a penalty awarded.
Yes, awarded to a team.
One thing I'm trying to do is that as I'm listening to you and listening to some of the stats you're giving me, is of course around the world there's some leagues that are more offensive oriented. There's some leagues that are more defensive oriented, and I'm kind of trying to get an idea of to me, the Ghana League seems like it's a little bit more defensive oriented.
Yes, it's more of that sort, because it hasn't been easy. Mostly, I think teams, like I said, playing away from home is always difficult, because it's more likely the home sides are always the strongest, or it's difficult to lose away from home. And then we have 12 of explosion, that is red cards so far in the league. Then you realize that the highest scoring week in the league was week 1. That was the first week of the league. We had 25 goals scored throughout the match venues.
25 goals by 18 teams.
Yeah, the teams. The first week of the league, we had 25 goals. That is the highest scoring week till it got suspended.
So if you get 2 goals in a game in the Ghana Premier League, then you're going to win more weeks than not.
Yeah. 2 or more goals is I think is laudable. And then the lowest scoring week is week 11, where only 14 goals were recorded. That week in particular, there weren't so many goals. 14 goals were scored on that day. And then on match day 8, that is week 8, it had the highest penalties recorded of 20% of all penalties awarded, because match day 8 recorded 8 penalties. So that is 20% of the total penalties in the whole of the first half of the league. Week 1 also recorded the highest number of wins teams to have won. 8 teams or 8 clubs won their matches in week 1. And then week 9, we had the lowest winning week. That was 4 wins in week 9. We go to week 10, where we have the highest first half wins. And then week 1 had the highest second half win. So, and then if you look at it...
So in week 9, there was 5 draws out of 9 matches.
Yeah, we had only 4 wins in week 9. That is the lowest wins we had recorded. Yeah, now.
I'm just trying to get an idea. So the low scoring matches, a lot of draws, a lot of 1-1 matches, a lot of 2-1 matches seems to be where most of the games fall in based on these stats I'm hearing.
Yes. If we look at week 1 of the league, we had the highest number of goals scored, because on week 1, the defending champions, that is Aduana Stars, they played at home and won by 6 goals to nil. That's the highest scoring match in the league at the moment. And then we have West African Football Academy, that is WAFA, also beating Ashanti Gold by 6 goals to 1. So if we look, these are the matches with the maximum or the highest scoring matches so far in the league. If we look at the goal or top scorers statue, it's been impressive too as well. We have Adebayo, Victoria Zakaria Adebayo. He plays for Inter Allies. He missed one, or he didn't play on match day 1, but from there on, almost all the matches he had played in, he's been scoring. He is on top of goals in the league with 12 goals. He plays for Inter. 12 goals out of the 15 matches played so far, but he missed 1. He didn't play on match day 1. So that means he had played 14, and then he missed 1, and his team had only played 14 matches. His team couldn't play their last match.
Oh, so he had 12 and 13 matches? Wow.
Yes. So you see that the stats are impressive for him. 12 goals in 13 matches. Following him closely is Yaya Mohammed, who also plays for the defending champions Aduana Stars. He had played in every match, but has also scored 11 goals. He had played from match day 1 to 15 and has scored 11 goals. So that means 1 goal separating him from the one on top. And then the one that also follow is Prince Opoku Ajiman. He had 10 goals out of the matches he had played in. 10 goals. And then we have a couple of people on 8 goals, 3 people having 8 goals. We have Elvis Che Bafwa of Liberty Professionals with 8 goals in all the matches he has played. We have another young chap, 15-year-old, 16-year-old Prince Edu Kobina, who plays for Bechim United. He is also on 8 goals. And then we have Ibrahim Osman, who is a player for Asante Kotoko, but he's been loaned out to the bottom club, King Faisal. He also have 8 goals. You realize from match day 1 to 15, only 2 players are able to record hat-tricks in the league. We have Yaya Mohammed of Aduana Stars. He scored hat-trick on the first week of the league, match day 1 against Inter Allies. He scored 3 against them. And then we have another person in Benjamin Boateng. He is also a player of Albina Sharks. He also scored against Brecum Chelsea. He also had a hat-trick there. But in total, we have people scoring 2 goals in matches. We have 25 scorers on 2 goals till the time the league got suspended. 25 people scored brace till the time the league got suspended. And then quickly before we leave each other,
so one thing I wanted to ask you about it is so from what I'm hearing by those totals, it seems like most clubs in the Ghana Premier League have one player that's their main striker getting all the goals and very few other players scoring.
Yeah, it's almost like that for all the clubs. Their main strikers are doing the job for them. I think if you look at the goal king chart, is purely almost everyone on it are strikers for, or their main strikers for their top sides.
Yeah, that's why I was here and there, and it seems like all of the teams must have pretty good defenders, and that it's really that striking talent that separates the best teams.
Yes, it's like I said. You see, the local league is such an interesting league to watch because there are a lot of tactics being played out. Most people don't follow it probably because we enjoy what we see on the European scenes. But if you are someone who devotes your time with someone who does follow the league, as some of us we do, you get to realize that tactically there are a lot of people or coaches in here who has the vision and all those things. So setting up teams, at times, most of them, the way they set up, that makes, or that gives you the idea that defensively, their sides are always on top. And that is why it's always easy for some of them to grind out wins to get the needed results day in, day out. Just a quick one before we leave. Let's look at what I want us to see how the standings was till the end. The league got suspended, as and when it will continue. If we look, like I said, we have 18 clubs playing in the Ghana Premier League, and out of the 18 clubs, like I said, only 4 clubs had played less matches, 14 matches instead of 15 matches, because on the day they were supposed to play, that was the actually day we had every activity suspended in the nation, so they couldn't come on. But for now, out of 15 matches played, Aduana Stars, who are the defending champions, let's not forget, they are the defending champions because they won the 2017 Ghana Premier League title. And let's not forget that after that year, the other league were to play couldn't end because it was truncated due to the bribery and corruption issues that came up in Ghana. So we didn't have league football for 1.5 years. So there wasn't any league. So as we speak, Diana Stars still stand as the defending champions for this year's league. They won the league last, that was in 2017. So I think they are looking more likely to defend their title because as we speak, after 15 matches, they are on top of the league table with 28 points. Following closely is second place Brekum Chelsea. That is one-time Ghana Premier League champion Solomon Asante.
That's what I was going to say. That was Solomon's team, right?
Yes, they are second on the league table with 26 points. And then Kotoko, who has played less matches, they have played 14 matches. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they are third with 15 points to their name. Following them is Elmina Sharks, who are also on 25 points as Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but they have played all their matches, 15 matches. Fifth position is Ashanti Gold. Ashanti Gold also have 25 points, and they are in the fifth position. Midiama Sporting Club have 24 points and are on the sixth position. West African Football Academy, we call them WAFA, they are on the seventh position with 22 points. You see that the point tally itself says a lot. So if even we are to say, let's end the league here, if you are the first club, they are just 2 points
it's
above the second club. So the point gap isn't that much. So that is why I'm saying, as and when we get a chance, I think the stakeholders will meet and then we see what will happen. And then eighth position is Bechim United with 22 points as well. Accra House of Folk, they've also played less matches. They've played 14 matches. They are on the ninth position with 21 points.
That's low down for them. They're normally near the top of the table, right?
Definitely, as you know, one of the biggest club in the country, but they are on the ninth position with 21 points as we speak. Accra Great Olympics are 10th with 20 points to their name. Inter Allies, they are also 11th with 19 points. Techima 11 Wonders, they are also 12th with 19 points. And then we have Dreams FC 13th with 16 points. Liberty Professionals also 16 points on 14th position. Legon Cities FC, then Wow Stars, that is the club, Legon Cities FC. They also have 16 points and they are on the 15th position. Ebusua Dwarfs from Cape Coast are also having 15 points on the 16th position. Kalera United, they are also on 11 points and they are on the 17th position. And we have King Faisal Babies FC, the bottom club, the 18th club with 6 points.
Wow.
Played 14 matches. Yes, they have played 14 matches like Inter Allies, Kotoko, and Haas. The funny story of King Faisal is that they are the only club from match day 1 till their match day 14 yet to win a match in the Premier League.
Wow, they have so they have 6 draws for their 6 points.
Yes.
Wow. I figured they had 2 wins and 14 losses.
They haven't won. They are yet to win a match.
Oh man, that's a rough year, man. They were the only ones that were glad the season stopped.
and you see, and that is something their bankroller, the owner of the club, from day one, he's been talking of that. He's been saying that for him, he thinks that at this stage, the league can't continue again. Let them end it there. And then when he says that, then you go back to the Ghana Premier League and you look through the league table and you see where the team is, you understand why he's thinking that let's end the league over there. So they are the only club yet to taste a win. They've played, they've played 14 matches.
Well,
they've lost 8.
Let's hope when they get back to playing that they can get a win, because every player on every team is out there working hard and giving their all, and you just hate to see that for the players and the coaching staff, because they're giving their all. But I do need to wrap up, because we're going over a little bit over an hour here, but it has been a fantastic chat as always. And you know what I like the best is that even though I've had to ask you some tough questions about difficult things that have happened with your teams, I can tell you've had a smile on your face the entire time that we've been talking, and I just love chatting with you. We need to do it again soon, and hopefully next time it will be us talking about your first Accrington Ghana Supporters Club meeting.
We are fantastic. It is something we are looking forward to. Like I said, we are only hoping that everything, this pandemic is over at some point, and once everything is done and dusted and it's possible for us to meet, we will definitely meet and have a lot of discussions. And then when we are done, I think we will come back again and we will speak a lot on it. But one other thing I would like to end on, you see,
yes.
you spoke of me having that smile when it's tough to talk of what is happening around my teams. One thing that is impressive is you look at why All Stars not being or not with us again. It's no more in the region. But I'm also happy because if you realize on GhanaFootballNews.com, I've been doing a lot on players from the Upper West who are featuring in the league. We have close to 15 players from the region who are still playing in the Ghana Premier League. So it's still something that always pleases me any day, anytime. We don't have the league or we don't have a club to represent us, but we have the guys over there who are representing us. And then the good thing is so far in the league this season, and 3 of them have scored for 4 of them have scored for their various clubs.
One of the things that I love about you is your passion for covering every player from Ghana, no matter where they're at in the world. I mean that's how we met in the first place. Is you were online one night. It had to have been about 3 in the a.m. for you, and I posted a video of Solomon Asante making a penalty kick, and you liked that, and we started talking from there. And just the passion that you would be up at that time of night just to try and follow Solomon playing all the way here in Phoenix. That told me, this is a guy that loves the game.
Yes. So that's the something I used to console myself, because when their clubs are playing, I try to see, hey, is this guy playing? Is one of my players playing? I call them my players because I do a lot for them, because when they are playing, I want to see, oh, is this guy doing well? How many matches has he played for his club so far this season? How many goals has he been involved in? Those kind of things. There are some who are not getting to feature that much, which I understand, because once their clubs or most of their clubs they are playing in, some of them are struggling. So it's difficult to get into a team that is struggling at times. There are some too who has played, missed only one match, has played almost every match. And so it's quite...
He's been incredible. MVP. He only had the one game this season, and he was involved in 4 goals in one match. I mean, if they were handing out an MVP based on one game, it would be hard not to have him in the conversation again. I mean, Solomon Asante, I mean, I'll tell you this, when I went to my first live Phoenix Rising game, yeah, he was the first player on the field that I just watched the way that he handled the ball, and I was like, this guy is some kind of special player, and he's just proved it time and again, and he seems to get better every year.
Yeah, he's one guy I admire the most. The unfortunate thing is he hasn't been given the chance again to come into the national team. For me, I think over the last season, we've seen what he has done for Phoenix, winning almost every accolade to himself. Phoenix top scorer, the league's top scorer, most assists, guiding Phoenix to the championship as well, and all those things. I was hoping for him to at least get back to the national team. So I, for one, when we were to play the other last 2 international matches against Sao Tome and South Africa, when I saw the coach naming his squad for those games, and there wasn't anyone like Solomon Asante, I was very embarrassed. I can remember speaking a lot on that issue on radio, because I felt if we had someone who is not a typical striker, who can have a goal involvement for more than 30 plus goals, and then we are to play in qualifiers against countries like Sao Tome, South Africa. Oh, come on, why not giving this person a chance? He has been around to the national team for some time. Why not giving him the chance to come and showcase himself again, remind us of what he can do? We've seen him doing it, rather than going to call people who are even yet to make a single cap for the nation. So I was very sad on that note. But there's still room for improvement. It's just unfortunate that this season got suspended this way. So hopefully when everything is done and dusted, my only concern is the form he is in, he shouldn't dip. He has shown that he's still on course to prove himself, because on match day 1 in the championship, like you said, he got himself involved in 4 goals. So everyone will be like, whoa, this guy isn't ending here. He's just started. And that was great. And I was hoping by now he could be doing more. But let's just hope. We are all saying throughout the world is we are only hoping for this pandemic to be over. And then we see that things can return to normal, because for now we are not in normal times. Once we get back to normalcy, I think everything will be back and running as well.
Do you think that maybe some of that problems with the national team maybe goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where I'm sure that the style that's played in the Ghana Premier League is obviously influenced by the national team, and then we talk about how all the Ghana Premier League teams kind of have that one striker. Is having a winger that scores goals like that just maybe outside of what the coach normally runs, and is that maybe why he's had trouble getting on the side?
No, you can't. You can't use that as an issue, because you realize if you even look at the list, the coach parade, you don't see many local based players. So you can't use that, because most of the players they call to the national team are always mainly players who play their trade overseas. So you can't use the local league as a case study saying that we have strikers in the local league who are scoring. So being a winger and he's scoring, there's nothing. But most of them that come to the national team, they're always from overseas. We find only 2 or 3 players from the local league. And then even when you get them into the setup, for instance, you are naming your 23-man squad, you can have 3 or 2 local-based players, but they could go for matches and come back without even those players getting the chance. So we can't base, or we can't say he not coming back to the team, base it on the local, what is happening in the local league, because most of them don't get the chance. If we even look at it, the one that is leading the goal king chart now, Victoria Zakaria Adibayo, he's not a Ghanaian. He's from Niger. So
Okay. So what you're saying is what happens in the local leagues really doesn't translate to the national team, because that's mostly international players, and the coaching style is going to be more based on what those players are playing in their international league than they would be in the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the situation here. And that is one reason why most people want to at least find their way out of the domestic league, because he feels that maybe if I get a contract outside Ghana, it might give me the chance to get into the national team, because you sit in the league, or you are playing in the local league, and all you realize that they go for tournaments and there are only few or 2, 3 local-based players in that squad. And then probably they go and come back without any of them featuring. So most of them, they want to try somewhere and see, probably if you go out of Ghana and you are making it, you have the chance that you might come back to the national team. A typical example I can give is 2015, where we have Latif Blessing. He's in the MLS with LA Galaxy, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yes, this guy, 2015, when we were to go for the African Cup of Nations, Latif Blessing was the most valuable player in the Ghana Premier League, as well as the top scorer in the Ghana Premier League. But what happened? Avram Grant, then, who was the head coach of the Black Stars, named his squad without even adding him to the team. So you realize that we don't use the league as a case study when we are doing all this, because in any jurisdiction, you know that if at the end of the season, this guy, he's the most valuable player in the league, he has won the goal king with more than 15 goals. So you are going to a tournament and he can be included. You are bringing in players from the overseas, playing in clubs where they don't even get much minutes to play. You bring in attackers where you took 4 attackers to a tournament. If you add all of them, their goals, they can't even add up to 10. And you have dropped someone who on his own has scored more than 10 goals. So it doesn't make sense, but that is what is happening here. And that is the main reason why most of the players, they want to exit the league prematurely at times.
Well, that's got to be a frustrating situation. I mean, I that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it certainly seems like it might explain why some of the results in the international tournaments haven't been what they were in the past. Suburu, you're doing such a fantastic job with your website and your radio show, and just stay safe, stay well, my friend. Keep your family well, and we'll talk again soon. You have a great afternoon.
Yeah, you have a great day as well. Also continue to stay home and stay safe. We'll catch up later.
Cheers. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.